taxpayer would tend to pay for that period, and then they true up at the end of that period. So what it does here, from the village's standpoint, is it recaptures money potentially that wasn't paid, that should have been paid in the past, and then brings those taxpayers onto the rolls of the utility companies. And then going forward, utility companies would be paying us what they're collecting from those residents or businesses going forward. The sales tax side, again, is going forward. We're looking at these a lot closer, and as things change on a real-time basis, we look at those. But what the concern I would have is that in the past, perhaps some things that may have been missed that have gone along the way that nobody's caught. And given our history here of unknown taxpayers that may be lurking in our business district, it would be nice to know that, make sure everybody that is in Riverwoods is actually, and collecting sales tax is actually, we're getting it back from them. We had a back and forth with the professional services agreement. Bruce can address that a little bit more. I don't know, Tom, if you wanted to maybe explain fill in the blanks if I had missed anything.
Yeah. I think Bob should come and work for us. He does music pretty well. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am Tom Fagan. One of the things that a little discrepancy that Bob said, in regards to the utility taxes going back, it depends on your T-board or ordinances, so you can go back 3, 4 to 5 years. So the claims to fame that we've just had, we found Springfield $980,000 of gross operating revenue that Comcast miscalculated. That was stuff we found back in 2011 that just got, after 7 years and lawyers being involved, got that settlement for them. Finding municipalities even money in what they pay for their utilities where AT&T maybe miscalculates without having enough exemptions on the bill, or leaving pot lines on the bill that were from 1995, things like that. So we're basically, the beauty of the program, like Bob said, is its contingency. If it doesn't cost, if it doesn't remit, if there's no money coming back to you, it's a salute to you saying your providers are doing what they're supposed to be doing.
The professional services agreement, I think the tricky thing was several things. One is we wanted to limit the work that they're doing for us to some identifiable taxes and programs. It was a very open-ended agreement to begin with, and I was concerned that we know initially what we're asking them to focus on, which is primarily utility taxes, telecommunication taxes, and sales tax. I was concerned that the village wouldn't have any monetary obligation to do anything, so that we can decline to take action that require us to have legal fees or anything like that. I think all of this work is undertaken by representatives of Casamar, so try to simplify some of those things. I think one of the hard things that we spent some time with in the agreement was the stream of revenue over a 36-month projected period. Their practice is to estimate it in advance for 12 months and then true up at the end of 12 months, projected for the next 12 months, true up at the end of that 12 months, and again at the end of 36 months. That 36 months runs from when they actually establish that the accounts have been transferred over, that the utility is correct, and then that requires some negotiation sometimes. So there's a process, there's an audit, and there's time negotiating with the utility company. This is all handled by Casamar's representatives and lawyers. So by the time they actually get the agreement of the utility company to what the revenue stream should be to Riverwoods, we might only have a year and a half left, let's say, before the current marriage term ends. Under the municipal code, contracts that extend beyond the term of the mayor are problematic. Casamar was operating in good faith, I guess, with a lot of communities that just saying, okay, us, and arcane set of provisions you'll see in your section 3.6 that at that point when the marriage term is about to end, they will estimate the remaining stream of income that they haven't done already. We will be obligated to pay that, but then if we reenact or extend the contract to the next marriage term, they'll again agree to defer the payment over the time that we would have had the contract not all been accelerated at once. So
Bruce, maybe in our discussions, maybe that point, I believe, and I know there, what I've always been told in regards to that provision is that if Mayor A perhaps wins that election and continues, it would just go forward as normal.
He's not gonna win.
anyway,
Right.
this was when I first came across these provisions. I thought they were a bit perplexing. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. It's all, I mean, if you have good faith and you're operating in good faith and they're performing, you would expect the next board to extend the contract. They just put in a provision to try and protect themselves against that event.
Why is it tied to a mayor's term and not as a representative of the village of Berkeley?
Because the municipal code took the position in some boards and other places that have tried to tie a future mayor's hands at the last moment, right before the changeover. It's not some agreements in April, and then it comes in May, it's all of a sudden. So it's a long-standing provision in the municipal code that contracts like this can't extend beyond the term of the current.
Thank you.
Rick's been waiting patiently and then email will come to you.
So I have two questions. One is about what you just mentioned about paying for the last year and a half up front. Would there still be a true-up?
Yes.
Okay. And then the other question I have, there is the possibility that they might find that we're giving taxes we're not supposed to get. And I'm guessing they wouldn't rat on us. But if they're also working for that village, they're going to have to, or the consortium. So would we, I'm not saying it would be double dipping, but it's kind of double dipping.
Right. Or could we find ourselves, sorry, mine's not working.
Could we
Find ourselves in a
on the-
reverse
on the short
situation. Right.
I guess that's a big question.
I asked this question, and I think Tom's the right person to answer.
There you go. It's never been our practice to take money from municipalities. In theory, yes, you are correct. We're basically looking within the audit for that specific village or city or town for addresses that are not within that municipality. So in theory, yes, you are correct, but when an auditor is looking for those specific addresses that are not in Riverwoods, that's the essence of what they're doing. They're looking for addresses that are in Deerfield that should be in Riverwoods and stopping there.
I have 3 questions.
Okay. Sorry.
Sort of cousin to this one.
Henry, I just want to finish it off here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, the utility company's case, if they were to find somebody that we're getting money from that we're not supposed to, they don't go, let me take that back. They wouldn't take that from us, would they? The
No.
utility, the taxes, if they were to go to the next, if they were hired by the next town over, you were hired and you found that, and our town gave it back to them, the utility companies would come back to us and take that away, is that correct?
That's correct.
But in the case of sales tax, the state will do that, okay? If they're found, but they only go back 6 months. Okay, the state will go back and recapture from a municipal that was improperly credited with a sales tax. They will go back and take that away from you to give to the next town, and they will take it back over 6 months, okay? So
information that we're getting funds that really belongs to Deerfield rather than us, what is our obligation to correct that?
Within the contract, our obligation to you is that we would present you with those findings, and that's.
But what is our obligation as a village, or if we have knowledge that we are collecting funds that don't belong to us? Does that then obligate us to do something? So I'm asking our attorney.
Is it moral, ethical, or legal issue? Or all of them?
I asked this question also, and I don't know what happens if we learn of information that we're partly collecting money. I think that then becomes a decision for the board about what to do.
Okay. Second question, you mentioned that you attempt to get monies either through legal means or other ways. Are those costs removed from the funds that you would pay us, or is that absorbed? No cost to us.
We assume all the risk in the proposition, so it's negotiated with our lawyers, not using groups.
Okay.
But does that cost come out of the?
No,
Comes out of
it doesn't come out of the split. We assume all the risk in the proposition, so it's our funds that we have to split with Cozo O'Connor, which is our lawyer, so they're with us in the agreement.
And my last question relates really to the sales tax issue, and that can be clawed back, so to speak. Is there any way that the information that you would produce would be able to get back to the state so that they now would have knowledge that what they're paying us is no longer ours?
So, in our, I do want to represent the full question.
Pardon?
I just want to make sure you got your whole question out.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So we're kind of working with the municipality, or we are working with the municipality in the area of sales tax because it's a third-party provider, or a third party. We're not able to look at sales tax per se. So the process within that is to send you a form letter that we've done with lots of municipalities to send to IDOR on your municipal letterhead asking for the address list. We're basically checking, just like we do in the electric audit, to make sure that the addresses on Illinois Department of Revenue's rolls is the same as Riverwood. So we're making sure from the perspective of finding businesses that are within the city limits, once again, we're making sure that all the surrounding areas with our geographic area tool, we're able to look around the border of Riverwoods all the way around and make sure that every business that should be in Riverwoods, IDOR has remitted to them. So basically what we're doing, in regards to that is making sure that all the addresses are remitting, and then when we find that there's something not remitting, we work with the municipality, with Bob, to say that brought us back X amount of dollars, because we can't know what each and every business is supposed to be remitting.
The reverse side, that based on that type of a process, it would seem that you would not find anybody that was paying us that should be paying someone else, based on that process.
Correct.
Thank you.
Sure.
Just an observation, I think the likelihood that we are missing some revenue is fairly good. I saw it with the NSSRA when we were trying to do our calculations. Anyone who has tried to buy anything online knows that everything automatically defaults to Deerfield. And even when I am identifying myself, sometimes I forget that I need to undefault the Deerfield. So this is very interesting approach.
We haven't almost finalized the professional services agreement. I may have a few last weeks. I sent out a red line, and Tom said they've accepted it, but I would just like to ask the board to approve it if you're going to, subject to final review by the village attorney.
As the trustee involved in legal, I'd like to see the document before we approve it. I haven't seen it.
I sent it out earlier this evening, but I will,
Just
So I take that you're asking to have this put over 2 weeks?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, so.
Can we not make a motion to accept these services or engage these services based on final approval of the contract?
I want to approve it without your approval since you're head of the legal committee.
It's fine. Let's go look at it.
So Mike, then you are content on voting tonight as long as you have a veto?
As long as I-
accepting the
Yeah,
final
I mean, I'm not going to veto it, I'm just going to make my comments and then either Bruce
Which is the same thing.
But,
Either Bruce will adopt it or he'll bring it back to the board.
well, Mike, I want to have it where it was voiding it if you found a problem, and then we vote on it after we hear what you say. So
That's
I
fine.
don't worry about it.
That works.
I have one
Yes.
important thing that I mentioned, but I didn't bring up. I mean, I didn't mention that when we talked, and that is the cost sharing, or the sharing of the capture. As far normally, if we were to have gone to them individually, their normal share basically is that they would retain 45% of the actual captured revenue, and we would get 55% during this term that we discussed. They've come into a consortium agreement with Lake County Consortium that allows us to change that revenue, correct me if I'm wrong, change that split to 37-63, which would be that 37% for SFAR, 63%. That made this more attractive to me when I saw that this was out there. And I think but that's actually what the number is. The numbers would be, I don't think we discussed that at all at this point, so.
And normally our contract, if you think of it as more dinner than a la carte, we gave the Lake County municipalities the option to a la carte and do specific audits instead of whatever would apply to a specific municipality.
I will say that I've spoken to a couple of managers who are part of that consortium, and while they haven't seen any money yet, they have spoken that the contractor is responsive to their calls and questions. So at least to the extent that far, it's been positive, but again, nobody's seen any money yet.
Well, having had the advantage of sitting through the presentation, I think we should go through with this audit and move it forward, and I'd like to get to it as soon as we can, and therefore I'd like to make the motion that we approve these services, again with the caveat that the agreement, that council approves the agreement, subject to the approval of council on the agreement.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve in a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Chamberlain?
Aye.
Trustee Ford?
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein?
Aye.
Trustee Haber?
Aye.
Trustee Hollander?
Aye.
Trustee Jamerson?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Hopefully this will lead to a whole lot of extra money coming in for us in the future. I can't believe that we're getting extra money from our neighbors, given how much they're getting and what we're getting. So I would imagine this will benefit us. Moving on to item C, ordinance proposing the establishment of Village of Riverwood Special Service Area number 33 for road improvements benefiting certain properties on Arrowwood and providing for public hearing and other procedures. I received the ordinance this afternoon and I forwarded it to your meeting upon receipt. You got that separately. Certainly I'd like to have the first reading if we can. I realize you haven't had an opportunity to really look at it, but I would like at least a first reading. And if you're comfortable given what it is with the waiving first reading and moving on to second, I certainly would be willing to entertain that. Council?
This is it's becoming our usual template for proposing a special service area. Arrowwood Trail has 6 homes. Nathaniel Haynes is here from Arrowwood Trail, and has talked with 4 of the 6 one of the newcomers bought the Caspi residence. I don't know if anyone's talked about it, I sure has tonight. The property sold.
Did it sell?
Yes, opposed to a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, so,
Interesting. So, the map of the area is attached to the ordinance. You can see the 6 houses on the lane. And as with the other ordinances that propose a special service area, this one is based on a flat tax. The services that would be provided are all the services we do for the other road SSAs, periodic maintenance, capital projects, if they do a substantial renovation, snow time, snow removal services, if they want to opt into that. We included an authorization to issue bonds up to $200,000 in case they find themselves wanting to borrow money and do a major project in the next couple of years. So we put all of that in the ordinance to give us as many tools as we can have. The levy amount that we suggested is not dissimilar from some others. We suggested a maximum maintenance levy of $6,000 per year, which is $1,000 per house, with the ability to escalate that levy amount, the cost of living feature. For the initial year, and then we suggested to each other that we estimated the initial levy would be $500 a house, which is $3,000. You see that number in here as well. We would, after the ordinance is adopted, we would have to wait 60 days because the state law requires us to wait a certain amount of time before we can even have a hearing. Then we would give notice in advance of the hearing, hold the hearing. After the hearing, we gather petitions from those in favor of going forward. And if it goes forward, then this would be special service area number 33, which would be probably about the 12th, 13th SSA we have for road maintenance in the village.
Do I hear a motion for either first reading or to waive first reading?
I'll make a motion. Well, you go first, you have your mic on.
Actually, I'll move to waive first reading.
Okay, second.
I think that's a second. Discussion. All those in favor? Oh, sorry, Henry, I apologize.
the question came up as to whether or not the first property was sold. I think it's sold. But I went and asked our building department if it had been sold. And they said, well, we don't know what's bought and sold because we don't have the transfer tax. So the village doesn't get information as to when a property is both purchased or sold. And I'm just taking the opportunity since it came up now, that it seems to me that that information might be beneficial for us to know as a village as to what's happening to the properties. Is there any other way other than a transfer tax to get this information? Yeah, I'm asking the question, I don't know the answer.
So I know some ways that we do. You can speak with the building department, but I can tell you that when the water and or sewer bills are being transferred to the new person, we know then, but of course that's after the fact. But that's one of the ways.
And it's only to the water bill.
Exactly.
Pat Glenn, the village engineer, does either get a listing or he doesn't, I don't know if he receives it or he goes and gets it, but every couple of weeks he gets the transfers of property in our village and probably all the rest of the villages that he
That's right.
maintains. And so we can get that information from Pat. I don't know how quickly his information is updated. So we may not know for a couple of weeks, but that a transfer tax would definitely make things easier.
It's usually going to be about a month after the closing because it's recorded and et cetera, and that's when he's getting it through the recorder's office. But then the water department or utility building gets it because that's who needs to know most immediately who actually owns the property.
Thinking as a resident, I can't, maybe it was in Deerfield, but I think it's helpful to have a list once a month of properties that were bought or sold. if there's a street on your house that's been sitting vacant for 2 years, it might be important to know if it's been sold. And I think it would give us an idea of the activity that's occurring throughout the village. And I don't know whether that's a summary in the Village Voice or some type of report, but for some reason, I think that I'd like to know what's bought and sold every month in the village.
Okay, one, as a trustee, would you like to see it? Because certainly that can be delivered to you, that's not a problem. Two, we can put it in the Village Voice if the board thinks that's appropriate. They'll occupy some space, but,
Maybe I'm the only one, but yes, as an individual, I would like it, but maybe others would as well.
I always think that having information is never a bad thing. So the more information, the better. Whether you throw it out or you save it for your own uses, whatever it is, but if you can get the information, it's not complicated, it doesn't cost any money, I think it's well worth it.
okay.
This is an example today. You don't know whether or not that first property is someone you can even contact. Because the village can't tell you whether or not.
It's sold for
That's the
700,000, it's a 12,000 square foot, 12,700 square
Well, obviously, we should put David in charge of
Then-
Because he finds
foot.
it.
I do have a real estate place.
Well, the only other thing I will add to that is that in that particular house's situation, it is not finished. It is under a construction permit that is probably expired under our ordinance. Rob can probably be shaking his head, yes, well, and issued to somebody who is no longer living. So there are issues with that property right off the bat, so we need to, get in touch with the homeowner as quickly as possible so that they know what they can and can't do.
And certainly, we should tag the property in some way, or at least put notice on it so that everybody would know.
If I may add, they've already started doing things in there, so it's probably what
To my point. Maybe you should pay a visit to
Were you aware?
I'd like to suggest that we stay on the motion at this moment.
I think that's a good idea. There's a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of waiving first reading signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Do I have a motion for second reading and adoption?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, discussion. Then may I have a roll call on a motion to adopt an ordinance proposing the establishment of the Village of Riverwood Special Service Area number 33 for road improvements benefiting certain properties on Arrowwood Trail and providing for a public hearing and other procedures.
Trustee Jamerson.
Aye.
Trustee Hollander.
Aye.
Trustee Haber.
Aye.
Trustee Goldstein. Trustee Ford. Trustee Chamberlain.
Aye.
Okay, what's the number?
07. 190207.
Okay, thank you. There is no old business, no need to go into executive session this evening that I am aware of.
Yes, I have something for the good of the order.
I'm going to do that next.
Well, it's not on the agenda, so I just didn't want to get this.
Wait, before you do that, I thought,
She's got something bad to do.
No, I thought last time you said something about that we would have to go into executive session. This time it has, so is it now loose?
It's not moved, but the more I think about it, I can probably just send out information to trustees individually rather than take time tonight, because it doesn't affect us immediately. It's through something else. It has to do with possible litigation or something. So I think the board should know, but I don't know that I need to have an executive session. I can advise the trustees individually. Yes, Rick.
So one of my neighbors contacted me earlier this week, or last week. The Lake County Stormwater Management Commission is having a meeting on March 7th to talk about the impact of the Foxconn property in Wisconsin on stormwater that flows down the Des Plaines River, because Foxconn is at the head of the Des Plaines River. And with who knows whether it's actually going to be built to what they said, now there's a question there. But the concern is that they were given a lot of indulgences, for lack of a better word, by Wisconsin. And some of them very well could have been stormwater management, and it's going to be a lot of impervious surface between the buildings and parking lots. And so this meeting is to talk about that. And so I plan on attending, and would like to join me and my neighbor. You're
When is
welcome to go to March 7th. It's a Thursday night. It's up in Grays Lake at College Lake County. So the neighbor lives right on the Des Plaines River, and they're brand new neighbors. So, and if the river floods more than it has in the last 2 times, it will be in my house as well. So
Rick, I don't think I've seen a note on that. You have one, you send it to me, or put it on the website.
yeah, I think it's
Okay, anyone else have anything for the order? If not, the next board of trustees meeting is scheduled for March 5th, 2019 at 7:30. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, meeting is adjourned.